The smell of smoke still lingers in my lungs. I can remember how it filled every corner of my throat that night, thick, choking, like the world itself was swallowing me whole. I was 16. My sister Lily was 13. We were both asleep when the fire began somewhere near the kitchen. A short circuit? Carelessness? I'll never know. I woke to her screams. "Ellie! The house, it's on fire." I stumbled out of bed barefoot, heat already searing through the floorboards. Flames leapt along the hallway, orange and furious, racing toward us faster than I could think. I grabbed Lily's hand, our skin slick with sweat, and we ran, coughing, tripping, choking, toward the stairs. Halfway down, the ceiling cracked. A beam fell. I shoved Lily forward and felt pain shoot through my leg as something hot slammed into me. I didn't scream. I clung to her hand until I physically couldn't. When I opened my eyes again, everything was white. The ceiling above me wasn't our home. It was a hospital. Machines hummed beside me, their beeps syncing with my heartbeat. My body felt foreign, wrapped in bandages heavy with pain. Lily was in the next room, her soft crying drifting through the walls. Then another voice came, calm and steady. "My father's doctor. If one of them can't make it, you need to save Lily. She's the bright one. She always has been. We can't afford to lose both." The words slid through the wall like a blade. I froze. My throat went dry, my chest burning worse than the fire ever had. The doctor hesitated. "Sir, both girls are critical but stable." "Stable?" my dad snapped. "You don't understand. We lost everything, the house, the savings. If one of them is weak, you know what I mean." I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Then my mother's voice, soft and trembling, sided with him. "Maybe he's right. Ellie's older. She'll understand. Lily still has a future." Tears stung my eyes. I tried to move, to speak, but tubes and pain held me down. My voice trapped somewhere between my ribs and the machine keeping me alive. That night, staring at the ceiling, I realized survival in that family came with conditions. When I woke again, days had passed. Lily sat beside my bed, arm bandaged, face pale. "You're okay," she whispered. "They said you almost didn't make it." I smiled weakly, pretending I didn't know why. Over the next weeks, doctors spoke quietly around me, and my parents visited less often. When they did come, they brought nothing. No flowers, no clothes, not even comfort, just complaints and judgment. My dad once muttered, glancing at my chart, "The bills for this one are higher than Lily's." My mom didn't even look up, scrolling through her phone. Finally discharged, I returned to a home that wasn't a home. The house was gone, replaced by a cramped motel room that smelled of mildew and regret. I slept on the floor by a window that wouldn't shut. Lily had a bed. I didn't blame her, she was just a kid. But every time I looked at my parents, I saw the night they chose her over me. Their faces reflected in the fire, calculating, deciding who was worth saving. I stopped speaking much. I stopped asking for anything. I just listened. "Lily's got a scholarship meeting," Dad said one morning, pouring coffee into a cracked mug. "Ellie skipped school today. No point wasting gas." Mom nodded. "Let her rest. She's not really college material anyway." Their words no longer stung. They only confirmed what I already knew. At 16, I got a part-time job at a diner down the street. Greasy tables, long hours, aching feet. I didn't mind. Customers treated me with more kindness than my parents ever did. Lily would sometimes visit after tutoring sessions, brimming with stories about teachers who believed in her, awards she might win. I'd smile and tell her she deserved it because she did. But deep down, a small voice whispered, they were saving her at my expense. One night, sitting outside the diner, watching the smoke from the grill drift into the cold sky, I made a decision. If I had to crawl through fire once to survive, I would do it again. But this time not to prove I deserved life. This time to make them see what they had burned away. That night, the planning began. 2 years later, the scars on my leg were still there. Pale reminders of the night they almost decided I wasn't worth saving. I'd learned to walk without limping, but the pain returned on cold mornings. My diner job had grown steadier. Frank, the kind owner, treated me like the daughter he never had. "You've got quiet fire, kid. Keep that," he'd say. Lily was thriving, at least according to my parents. They bragged about her to anyone who would listen. "Full scholarship," my dad would say. "We raised her, right? Never a word about me." In their eyes, I was still the burden they couldn't afford. Sometimes I saw Lily on social media, surrounded by friends smiling full of gratitude. Thanks Mom and Dad for believing in me. I never corrected her. She didn't know what they said that night, didn't hear them discussing who to save. She still thought our parents were heroes. Then one Sunday morning they showed up at the diner, quiet except for the hiss of the coffee machine. I was refilling creamers when I saw them through the window. Dad in his usual work jacket. Mom in pearls, as if dressing for respect she no longer earned. Ellie, Dad said, pretending surprise. Didn't know you worked here. Yes, you did, I said flatly. You just never cared. He ignored me. We wanted to talk. Frank, sensing the tension, gave me a quick nod and stepped into the back. I crossed my arms. What could we possibly have to talk about? Dad cleared his throat. It's about Lily. She's been in an accident. My heart dropped. What? She's in the hospital, Mom added, dabbing fake tears from her eyes. It's serious. She might need a donor. I didn't speak. The air was heavy. Dad leaned forward. The doctor says you're the best match. Deja vu hit me, the same sterile rooms, the same urgent tone. But this time it wasn't me in danger. So you came to me, I said quietly. Because now I'm useful. Dad frowned. Don't make this about you. We're talking about your sister. She has a future. I could taste ash in my lungs. A future once promised to me. Now just another excuse they'd use to abandon me. Mom grabbed my hand. Ellie, please. We need you. I yanked my hand away. No. You need a replacement organ. You don't get to ask for my blood after wishing it had stopped. Her expression stiffened. You're being selfish. Selfish? I laughed, sharp and bitter. You stood in a hospital and decided who deserved to live. You called the doctor and declared I wasn't worth saving. And now you expect me to save her? Dad slammed his fist on the table, drawing stares from the other patrons. We did what we had to do. I leaned in, voice calm. So will I. They didn't know how to respond. For the first time I saw fear in their eyes. Not fear of losing Lily, but fear of losing control over me. I'll think about it, I said finally. Just to end it. You'll hear from me soon. When they left, I retreated to the back room, shut the door, and cried harder than I had in years. I loved Lily. Truly. None of this was her fault. But standing between their guilt and her innocence reopened a wound that had never healed since that fire. That night, I visited the hospital. The hallway lights were soft but cold. Antiseptic clinging to the air, pressing against my chest. Lily lay pale and still in her bed, wires snaking across her arms. I sat beside her, brushing hair from her face, whispering, "You've always been the bright one, but they dimmed me so you could shine." I didn't yet know what form revenge would take, only that it would be quiet, precise, a mirror they could never escape. And finally I was the one holding the match. 2 weeks later I returned to the hospital. This time I wasn't the victim, the forgotten daughter. I was someone who had learned the power of silence. The fire had destroyed my home, but it hadn't burned my memory. Lily was recovering. The doctors had managed without me. A distant cousin had stepped in as a partial donor when my parents ran out of options. She was stable now, awake, fragile, alive. When she saw me, her face lit up. "Ellie," she whispered, tears glistening. "You came." I hugged her gently. Of course I did. She had no idea of the nights I'd lain awake, replaying my parents' words about her being the shining one, about me being expendable. None of that mattered now. She wasn't the enemy. She was another victim of their conditional love. And yet they were there too, my parents, like ghosts who hadn't realized the fire had already claimed them years ago. My dad rose when I entered, relief flooding his face. "Ellie, thank God you're here. We didn't know if you'd..." I cut him off. "You didn't come here to thank me. You came to remind me of your last attempt to play savior." Mom shifted uneasily. "We all said things we didn't mean." I stepped closer. "You told the doctor to pull the plug." Silence. The same suffocating silence that once filled our house. My voice remained calm, but every word carried years of fire. "You didn't just say it. You meant it. You chose one child to save and left the other to die. I survived anyway." My dad's jaw clenched. "You don't understand." "No," I said, quiet but final. You don't understand. You don't get to come here now pretending we're a family again because you need comfort. You lost that the night you lost your house. And I lost it with them. Mom's eyes filled with tears. Ellie, please. We were scared. We didn't. I know, I said softly but sharply. You were scared. But so was I. I was 16. You chose to keep breathing while hoping I would stop. I turned to Lily, giving her a faint smile. You don't owe me anything. Just rest. I'll visit again soon. Then I looked back at my parents, and for the first time they looked small. Really small. Like the fire had finally reached them after all these years. Before leaving, I pulled a folded envelope from my bag and handed it to my dad. I took out insurance on myself when I turned 18, I explained. Just in case the world decided I wasn't worth saving again. There's a clause. It names Lily as my sole beneficiary, not you. He blinked confused. Why are you telling me this? So you know, I said evenly, that I thought of her even when you didn't think of me. That's what family looks like. You'll never understand it. I left before they could respond. Outside, the night air was crisp and cool. No smoke this time. No fire. Just peace. I glanced back through the glass one last time. My parents sat frozen, pale, stunned, realizing the daughter they buried in their hearts had walked out alive and untouchable. Lily smiled faintly through the glass, mouthing, I love you. I smiled back. I know. Driving home, the hum of the car felt like quiet triumph. Revenge hadn't been fire this time. It had been truth, slow, patient, suffocating in its clarity. As the hospital lights faded behind me, I finally exhaled. Free from the ashes, free from their choices, free from the family that never chose me. That night I slept deeply for the first time in years, knowing they would wake every morning remembering the daughter they tried to erase, and realizing they could never unsee her again.